What's happening, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Let's Get Chatting podcast. Today we've got a very special guest with us. We've got Lena, as always. Well, not as always, half the time. She's like 50-50 at the minute. So we're deciding. No, we're not deciding. It's 50-50. It's staying 50-50. And we've got Alyssa, who is going to tell us some mad stuff about healing and crazy things that are going to make my mind go nuts, probably. So basically, how I would like to start this off with everybody is just to sort of get into the zone, get chatting, and just to ask how your week's been, how your day's been, what you've been up to, and then flow from there. So, who wants to start?
Go ahead.
Yeah,
go
you
on,
go.
Alyssa.
Oh, goodness, fine.
Who's going? Who's going?
I
You got
know.
silence.
I'll go. God, it's only Thursday. Good Lord. I thought it was Friday today. I got excited.
I think it's gone quite quick.
Yeah, kind of. It's been an okay week. There's like a lot going on. Like work is just like I've got a lot of work to do, and I just keep putting it off because I don't want to do it.
And then moans when she's got loads of work to do.
Yep.
Yeah, it's typical, huh?
Yeah. Alyssa, how's life over there?
Yeah, it's good. It's freaking crazy. I've been noticing there's like a lot going on in the cosmos, and a lot of it like relates to work. I've been having that like in my own work too. And like I'm at this balance of like feeling like I'm going fucking insane, but also somehow staying grounded and like blissed out. So that's me. It's very weird. It's a very weird like place everyone's at, it feels like.
So when you say
quite negative?
Oh, go on.
What was that?
Does it feel negative?
It's like half and half. It's like half is negative, half is positive.
Interesting.
So
Yeah.
how do these? When you say you feel it in the cosmos, what can you describe that?
Yeah. So I'm not a huge astrology person. You guys are familiar with astrology, right? The whole like zodiac and signs and all that.
Meh. I'll get
Kind
that.
of. Yeah. So a lot of pages I follow and a lot of like my friends are super into that. So there's this idea that when the planets are at certain, what's the word? I'm so not good with like the lingo, but when certain planets are in certain spots, it affects humans in a certain way. And so right now there's like an eclipse going on. One of the planets is going retrograde, which means it appears to be going backwards. So a lot of things with like communication technology can also get kind of like fucky, you know? So that's what that means.
Wow.
So crazy, isn't it?
Yeah,
Because I hear people say that all the time, like, "Oh, Mercury retrograde, fuck." And I'm like, I don't even know what the hell you're talking about. I'll blame whatever I can on Mercury retrograde. If I can blame it on something else other than myself, I'll fucking blame it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Totally.
facts as well. That is true. Well, I have had a pretty chilled week. I've literally just been working and having a existential meltdown inside my brain about other things, but other than that,
Yeah.
I'm pretty chilled. Like I've just had like, to be fair, I think this week is probably the first time I've ever like reached out to a mate and been like, dude, like I'm feeling it, you know? And I was
We
like,
just keep getting fucked. Like, it just seems like we're trying so hard to move in the right direction, and life's like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. And I'm like, God damn. Like,
Yeah.
I just need one day where I'm not getting like fucking knocked off my damn feet. And today
Yeah.
was not that day.
and
Yay.
then, like as well for me being like as stupid as it sounds, like being the man in the family does sort of make you like you feel like you take on a bit more responsibility as much as you should, and you do, like just in general, because that's how we've been brought up and taught to deal and act, right? So sort of I think in the background it just hits me and I'm like just dealing with it, and then sometimes I just literally fucking scream. I like literally just sat in my car the other day for like 5 minutes shouting at no one, at myself, just like letting it out. And then
That's good.
I didn't feel any better really, but you know.
Alyssa's going to teach you some things today.
I know. I'm like, you gotta go till you can't. That's how you feel better.
Yeah, I've actually got a sore throat though. Like genuinely, I was only chatting for like 5 minutes, and my throat hurt this morning, and I was like, "What the fuck, man? This is it's no good for me. I can't do this. Give me a lozenge, and we'll go." So yeah, that's how my week's been. So before we, so you two know each other. Let's explain how do you two know each other?
We used to work together in San Diego.
That was short but sweet, babe. Well done.
It was a fucking horrible place. It was the worst.
I was so wondering. I was like, is the place gonna come up and is Lena gonna shit on it?
Of course I am. That place fucking sucked.
Was it the
was
same for
wild.
both of you, or did
It
you
got
both
shut
think
down
it's
for a reason.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay, cool. All right, we'll
I
leave
mean,
it
it
there then.
wasn't the greatest. I was very just like grateful for like the bare minimum back in the day, you know? I
Yeah.
feel like I just had very low standards. So I was like, oh, this isn't that bad, even though it like was pretty horrendous.
Yeah. It was like super like not even sexist, but like our boss was like a bit of a freaking perv, and then like they'd send Alyssa and I out to these. It was so fucking chank. They'd make us wear the outfits, and they'd send us out to college, like university campuses, and pass out fucking cookies to get fucking people to come to this restaurant. It was like the lowest of lows.
Wait, what outfit?
Do you remember that?
What outfit?
I do.
We had our like work uniform that we had to wear. They'd make us wear that and go to college campuses. We were like fucking retards, like walking around in that, passing out cookies to fucking random people, and they're looking at us, and we were just like, dude, what the fuck? But our pervy boss would be the one that would drive us there, and he'd just drop us off on a corner and be like, they better all be gone by the time you get down the block. And we threw some of them in the bin one day. Was that you that I was with, or was it somebody else?
I feel like I definitely did that with you and someone else.
Yeah.
Sounds delightful. It's like
It
when
was
you're walking
bad.
when you're walking
Yeah.
through town and people from Costa have got those like little shots, and they're like, oh, do you want to try a shot, like that sort of thing, right?
Yeah, kind of, but it was
Yeah.
just like, oh, like
But at colleges filled with like douchebags and
oh yeah,
yeah.
San Diego's like peak douchebag territory around the university. That's fine, like whatever.
Like typical college kids. We didn't
Yeah.
get that here though. They're not as bad, I guess. Do you think?
But it was like, I don't think it's as bad, but like you gotta remember, like in America, it's very different to here. Like we worked
It's
for
very frat,
tips,
isn't
and
it,
that
as
was
well?
it. We worked for tips, and that was it. So pretty much, like our base salary was like fucking jank, like $2 or $3 an hour or something.
Yeah, some girls, if they had like a really good tip day, their check would zero out. I'm like, how does that make sense? Like, that's insane.
Wow.
They're like, oh yeah, I made good tips, but I didn't get a check. I'm like, that doesn't sound legal,
Yeah,
but
that's
it
not
is,
right.
I guess.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
And then like there were even like sometimes like if you were literally 35 fucking seconds late on the floor, they'd take all of your tips for the day.
What?
And did I dream that?
I don't remember that.
Yeah. Maybe it was somewhere else that I worked,
This is
restaurant
Lena
and like
just making a
waitressing.
mountain out of a
No,
molehill.
no, I remember
she's
it.
been known to be a dark
Somebody was
cloud.
late one day. Somebody was late one day, and they were like, "Oh yeah, like you have to give up like a certain part of your tips, or like your tips or something for the day." Something I can't remember.
Shit.
Well, that clearly doesn't sound legal, but you know.
I think it was Mariah. She's a fucking lawyer now.
Oh wow.
We don't tip here, so we don't have to do
Yeah,
that
no,
shit.
it's not a tipping culture here. Nobody tips here, like when you eat places or anything.
I do if it's somewhere nicer. If we've had like good treatment, I tend to like. I always do like a 10%, but it all depends on like. If I go to like McDonald's, I'm not going to be like, "Oh, you were really cool. I'm going to give you 10%." Doesn't work like that. Like, come
No,
on.
It's
But
not
if we
like
go to a
that in
restaurant-
America. But yeah,
Oh,
especially like bartenders here. Bartenders here don't get fucking tips for shit.
Wow.
yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I think here when it comes to like bars and things like that, I think you've got to be a certain type of way to get tips. If you get my drift.
Yeah. Or it's
Like-
like only in like the really bougie places like in central London, like Soho.
Yeah, which are all shit as well.
Yeah.
Just to let everybody know they're all shit. London's shit. England's shit. You don't really ever want to
Yeah.
come here. That is my truth of
That's
the
why
day.
we're moving.
Yeah, this is why Tennessee bound, baby. So yeah, we're moving. We're moving to Tennessee. I don't know when, but it's the plan. I've spoken
waiting
about it
for the
so many
visa.
times. People will probably get bored of hearing it. Like, yeah, I'm still waiting for my visa, you know, yay. And it's just, as long as it takes now, isn't it, really? So what, Alyssa, tell us a bit about what you do.
Nice. Yeah. So I use a bunch of different energy healing modalities. It's so funny because I was thinking about this. I was just thinking about like my journey with it, with my soul work, and how I've been wanting something more normal and like grounded and like conceptual and like, oh, I don't even know an example, like something else I can do. But my work, my soul work has been energy work, energy
Okay.
healing. So it's mainly, as of now, Kundalini, life force activation, Reiki, and breathwork. Do you know what any of those are?
I know a bit like about breathwork, only from like the Joe Rogan podcast. Who's the guy? He's like serious on breathwork. I can't remember his name. Yeah, that's the one, Wim Hof. Yeah, I've heard him on the podcast. It was interesting. It made me want to try it, but then I like forgot, and I was like, well, I can't try it now, can I? I've forgotten how to do it. So so like the good thing about doing this is the way I like to do it is, as much as like some people will go into like super researching people they have on their podcast, I sort of try and avoid that, because then I can learn on the spot and give like my true reaction.
Totally.
Hope that makes sense. So we'll get through it. But my question is, how do you get into something like that? Where did it start?
I feel like it really, really, really started, like the interest in all of it was in the beginning of 2020. I was in like that wave of people where 2020 was like their like awakening, you could call it. Yeah, just your own experiences. I remember in the beginning of 2020, obviously COVID was happening. My parents were in a really rough place. They were like divorcing. They didn't, but they were going to. And so I was just at this point of just like, man, I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I kind of feel like shit. And like whatever falls in front of me, I'm going to kind of like pay attention to it. And so I got into it through friends who were already in like these worlds. It was always very interesting to me, but I had never actually gotten into it in the beginning because I was brought up very religious. My family's very Christian, and they think that, well, they're relaxing on it now. It's funny as like I've gone on my journey through it, they've really chilled out, but a lot of people say it's demonic, and yeah, it's just like evil.
Wow. So because Christianity is quite big over there, isn't it? Like it's not massive in England. See, like you sort of like meh. Like a lot of people don't give a fuck. Like, they really don't care. For a Christian country, it's pretty shitty, and like it's pretty bad. So like it's quite. Is it pushed? Would you say pushed upon like Christianity?
I mean, I would say it's definitely one of the most common. I feel like it's everywhere. For me specifically, it was very pushed on me. Like I was pretty much forced to go to church every Sunday. My mom wanted me in private school, which is funny because like once you're in private school and then you leave, you become like that stereotypical fucking crazy bitch who's out of private school. And then my grandpa is a pastor, so it was very like beat into me.
Oh shit, yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
Do you think that led you down to doing something like completely different in a sense, a little bit, if something's, because you find a lot of the time if something's like pushed on you, it sort of like pushes you away from it, if that makes sense?
I would say so. I was into it for a while. Like Christianity was working for me for a while until it didn't. And I wanted to explore more and explore it without fear. Cause it's like so much. So the thing about like Christianity is they don't really give you reasons for why something might be wrong. It's just, it's wrong.
Yeah.
And it's like stuff like that. I'm just like, okay, well, if you're going to be all like secretive about it and not allow me to ask questions, like I'm going to want to ask questions and like see for myself, you know?
100%. And you're wrong for asking questions as well, which doesn't also make sense. Like questions, everybody should be taught to ask questions because that's learning, you know? Yeah. So yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
So, okay, cool. So you were going for a bit of a hard time, or extremely hard, however you feel about it. And then, so your friends, you say your friends were like into all this sort of stuff. I'm just going to call it sort of stuff until I get to the nitty gritty, the names of it, and then we can like weave through it.
Yeah, whatever you got to do.
So, okay, so how did so what happened when you started like learning about all of this and training in it and whatnot, or just doing it in general?
I guess I could go into, I'll go like deeper into my personal story with it. So I was receiving like energy work from a friend. I was doing breath work. I was doing all those things. And then after the job me and Lena were working at together, I started working in a cannabis dispensary once it was legalized. So it was medical to start, and then it became recreational. And it was fun, but there was a point where I was just like not interested anymore. Like I couldn't give a fuck about like, oh yeah, dude, this one, like this strain. And like, I just didn't fucking care. I was like, I need to do something else because like I'm bored. And so you know, I'm just like, oh, this is like exhausting. And it was starting to become very corporate and just like not fun anymore. And I really did like the healing aspect of it. I always have had a pull, I can't talk, to like things that are healing and like benefit you in some way. But it was like customers would come in and they're like, yeah, I can barely pay rent. This is like the last of my money. And they're like buying an ounce. And I'm like, I don't really want to like help you do this, you know, like it doesn't seem
you
right.
need a home.
Yeah.
Totally. So I had the idea, there were these drops that I saw online that were recommended to me by a friend who did like this reading for me. Yeah, we could just be honest and bring it all up. Are you guys familiar with ayahuasca?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have somebody coming on to talk about this.
No, they literally.
cool.
So it was our last episode. So
Oh, yeah.
The reason we've got you here today is because they're going to come out one after the other, and they're very similar. So yeah, so I have heard of it, and
So these ones aren't as crazy because I've technically never done actual ayahuasca, but they're drops that come from the vine. So it's the vine, it's the plant, it's that energy and essence of the plant, just without the psychoactive properties. You're able to microdose it and like not have that full blown experience.
Sure.
So it's legal because it doesn't contain the DMT. But it's like the energy, the essence, it's the plant just without that stuff. So I came across those, and in like 2 weeks into my job, I got this very faint like whisper in the back of my mind, and it was just like, it's time to go, like you need to quit. And I was like, what the fuck? I don't have a backup plan. I don't know what else I would even want to do. Like that sounds so irresponsible. Like what the fuck? But it felt so right. And within 2 days, I like had my 2 weeks in, and I was just like, yep, I'm done, I guess. And yeah, because
it's so funny. Sorry, but because the guy who was on last week was the same. He was like,
really?
I just had this feeling that I had to go. I had to go and like go and do it. And it was like, and I just did. And it's so crazy. Like it's wow. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
It was the faintest whisper. Like it wasn't, because like, you know, we'll have a voice in our head that like tells us things. And it was so gentle. It was very feminine. It was like this little like fairy whisper. And it was just like, just quit. And I was like, you're fucking crazy. Like, what am I going to do? You know? Like, what?
Can you order these drops on Amazon? Because I need some of this shit.
I could send you the link. They're not on Amazon. They come from like an actual like tribe. Like they're legit.
Oh,
like,
shit.
I'll send you the link for them. Yeah, they're powerful. Like completely fucking changed my life, and I like am not surprised. What was I gonna say? And so yeah, I quit, and I just had luckily my parents taught me how to save, so I had a good amount of savings. I wasn't completely fucked, and like I was living with my boyfriend, so it's like I was supported. But it was very scary. And so since I was already on the path of like doing all these things, I just like dove deeper into it, because it was all the things were like opening up something in me that was very deep. It was very, what's the word? Like I was releasing a shit ton. I was doing practices that would make like my body like shake and twitch and scream and cry. I had, even from breathwork, a chakra orgasm. Are you familiar with the chakra system?
No.
Does this like go hand in hand with like chakras. Tantra?
No, this is separate from it, but we can talk about that too.
I will talk about that later, because that is one of like that. I saw that on your like Instagram a few months ago, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Like that's mind blowing to me that that's even like a thing. But anyways, continue. Chakra orgasm.
I know,
continue.
like so when you say about that, I've spoken to people who have had like doing breathwork. They've had like full trips, like full like visual trips.
Yeah.
And, I gotta do this.
That's what this was. And it was at an event too. So it was the breathwork facilitator program that I took. The girl who runs it hosted like an in-person event. So it was like, I think 100 people outside, and it was like a really intense breath pattern that she was guiding. I released a lot because like there was like traffic on the way there, and like the day was just like all fucked up. So it's like I came in and I was already just like agitated, and like I needed something. So I was like, I'm going all in this shit. Like this is the time. And so I was doing the breath pattern, and usually it starts with crying, and then you cry a little bit, and then it can like stir up like the anger. So it's like you get into that like very like primal energy. And once you move all that like denser shit out of the way, like the anger, the fear, the crying, it's like all that's left is like pleasure and joy. And so my eyes were closed. I started seeing a bunch of orange. And so the orange is the color of the sacral chakra, which is like, so it goes, root is like right here.
Okay.
Sacral's right here. So it's like the sexual organs. And then there's ones that just like go up. And each chakra has a color. So I started seeing orange, just like little orange, like sparks and fireworks. And then I felt like a heat in that area. And I could like see like in my mind and on that area, just like orange. And it kept like building. And then it just like shot and like completely like pleasurable, like shaking, like laughing, like an orgasm, but on an energetic level.
Wow.
I need that.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
I've seen a lot of things. Sorry to cut you off. I feel really rude.
No, it's fine. It'll come back.
I keep seeing these things like online, like these videos of like these people. I don't know if exactly they're doing like breath work or like if it's more Reiki, but they're like helping girls like with their trauma and stuff. Like I saw this girl who'd been like in a really horribly abusive relationship, like and her parents were horrible to her and she's a kid, and this guy like came over and like did some like massage on her and then was doing this breath work or Reiki or whatever, and this girl was literally like convulsing, screaming, fucking crying, like full blown, like it almost seems like they're in a panic, but she seemed so like fucking collected at the same time. Like it was weird. Is that like the same thing?
That could really be anything, because okay, so here's the thing, and this is part of what took me a while to get into Kundalini activation. So different practices like breath work, it can happen with Reiki, but not as much, I would say. Kundalini activation, there's a thing called spinal energetics. Basically what's happening is the practitioner is able to stir up the dormant energy and trauma or whatever is in the body, depending on what modality they're using, because we all have energy in the body. Yeah. Like when we have an experience and it's unresolved, like it doesn't go away. It's like just because an event has passed, like the body still holds on to it. And so depending on the modality of what the practitioner is doing, we're able to kind of like target that energy and have it like release how it needs to, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I got a lot of shit. I feel like I haven't like, not that I didn't deal with, but I just kind of was like, oh, well, nothing you can do about it. So you just fucking like shove it down. But then it's like those little teeny tiny things like over years, like, you know, even like something so simple like from 7 years ago, like my granddad dying, like I had fucking shit to do. Like I knew you at that time because I flew to Arizona for like bang at like the drop of a hat and came back. And then it was like my birthday and I installed a pole in my fucking house. Do you remember that? And I was like, but even that, like, I just came back home, was like, gotta get back to work. Life fucking goes on, and you just like push it down. And then like over time, those little like even little like snippets of that like build up, and then it turns into like not one big thing, but like so many little things create a big thing that just gives you like a fucking block, right?
Oh yeah, totally. And even this example came up like in me and my boyfriend's relationship. It's good. It's been solved. Like we're good. We always get through it. Relationships is a good example. So like anytime that you have like a minor trigger in a relationship and you're like, okay, it's whatever, like it still pisses you off. It still feels like shit, but you're like, whatever, I'll just let it go. It's like it's making like tiny cuts just like all over you, just like a cut. And it's like, at what point is all these tiny cuts where you're like, okay, this fucking hurts, you know? Yeah. So like, in relationships, in jobs, whatever, in anything, when we have, just like all these like stresses and traumas and triggers that aren't dealt with, an explosion happens. Like it's just bound to happen. Yeah. And yeah, it just builds, and little things even can trigger like the tiny cuts too, if that makes sense.
Right. No, that makes total sense. Total sense. So, okay, I'm still thrown off about being able to breathe into an orgasm, but okay, here we go. It's not something people talk about, you know? It's not.
Well,
like,
and it's
you
also
don't hear about it.
I'm gonna learn how to do this. It'll make my job a lot easier.
Right. And the thing is, I think people picture it differently. Okay, how do I put this? So the difference between the orgasmic states that you have with energy work and with like a physical, just like regular orgasm. Obviously, a regular orgasm is very, it's almost like focused just on like the body part, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like exclusive to that. But the thing that makes these so cool is it's like, it can be the body part involved too, but like even with the energy orgasm, it wasn't concentrated on one place in the body. It's full body, and it's like it's more like an orgasm of the brain, if that makes sense. So like all the happy. Go ahead.
Is it a bit like, getting a bit more into it? It's like, I always find like when you meet that someone and the first time is so different to every other time after, right? Well, I find sometimes like, you know, I like, let's just be real. Like the first time is something else because it's the first time you're building up to it together. There's an emotional thing and you've both built, and then it's like, bam.
Yeah.
Is it like that feels way more than just like the physical thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So is it similar in that sense? Like it's just an emotional build-up as well as...
It's like everything. It's an emotional buildup, it's a gratitude buildup, and it's more so a feeling of filling up than depletion. Because that's part of the thing with these types of like, like things, is a lot of people are kind of just like, when it comes, this is so funny, we're just like talking about coming, why not?
They talk about everything on here.
Oh yeah, this is literally open as shit, man.
I love it. It's perfect. Where was I even going with that? Yeah, it's like there's always this like drive for more. But with these, it's almost like a consciousness expansion. It's like something deep. It's something deeper that goes just beyond like a feeling, like a one-time gratification. Yeah. Yeah, it's a filling up. It lasts. It's a satiation. It's like a nourishment and like filling up, if that makes sense, versus like a, and then you're like, oh shit, I need more. And just like, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel ya. Okay, cool. No, more of you, babe. Don't worry. It's all good. Don't worry. Calm down. Damn. So, with like breath work, so you've got the breath work. Do you want to like tell us a little bit about like how it works and sort of, and if, go from there, and then we'll get into like the Reiki and the Kundalini after? Is that cool?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah,
that's exactly the order I went in with like my own personal experience. So the idea with the idea with breathwork is that, so breathwork is basically becoming conscious of your breath and intentionally changing it to change your state. So we're really not taught how to breathe. A lot of people breathe when they sleep with their mouth open. And when you breathe through your mouth, that actually triggers cortisol, which is the stress hormone. So like all night, you're pretty much telling your body to like panic if you're sleeping with your mouth open. That's why some people like will tape their mouth when they sleep so that it's like forced shut so that you're only breathing through your nose. So mouth breathing can cause, when done intentionally, so there's a difference between sleeping 8 hours all night with your mouth open and like doing an intentional mouth-based breathwork exercise. Because in the experiences where people do have these like big things happen, it's usually with mouth breathing patterns. So the idea is when you do a mouth breathing pattern, it's going to stir up fight or flight. So that's what causes all the suppressed shit to come up and release. So mouth breathing is more active. It's more almost like psychedelic, and nose breathing is going to be your like calm down, your replenish, restore. I had a client who had like one of the aura, the aura rings.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with those? She had one of those, and I think it was just like 7 minutes into the breathwork session, it got her out of like the stressed mode, and she was like perfectly in the like rest, relax, like peak potential like state to be in. So it really doesn't take long.
Sorry, is that why when you're stressed out you breathe like a bull? Because when I'm stressed out, I'm like, oh shit, I'm like just straight through my nose, like calm the fuck down, and you're not like going through your mouth. That makes total sense. when you hear these things, it's just like, wow, it makes sense,
Yeah.
you know?
Because it's not something you think about every day. You're not like you said, we're not taught any of these things. Like when you're a kid, your parents go, right, take a deep breath, like a fucking snarky little cunt. Do you know what I mean? But it's so different. Like when you're doing it, I guess, like intentionally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Anyway, carry on. I'm so interested. I'm like, this is sick.
Yeah. So different breath patterns cause different effects in the body. What else? And yeah, obviously, like the longer you're going for, the better. If you have someone to guide it, that's always good. What else is there about breath work? Yeah, it can have so many different effects for people depending on what you have stored. And there also has to almost be this feeling of like non-attachment, because if you're focused on like, oh yeah, I'm going into this breathwork session and I'm going to like shed a fuck ton, and you're just like waiting for it to happen, it's probably not going to happen. Like there's a big aspect of like release and like letting go that can allow an experience to come up. Okay. I've discovered it's it's just how it is with like anything really, because the more you try to like force something, the more it's gonna like run away.
Sure. Yeah 100%. So with like breathwork, would like can you sort of just have you got like instructional videos, anything like that on your Instagram?
Yeah, I need to make more. My focus started with breathwork, and then it really got more energy work based in the past like year or 2 years. I have 5. I did like a little 5-day breathwork challenge.
Perfect.
It's only 5 minutes, but it's good. Like it's good for starters. Because it can be a lot, and it can feel like work at times. Like when you're not used to breathing in a certain way and you're just like constantly doing it, it can be kind of like, fuck, like I know I'm just breathing, but this is like exhausting. I always say stick with it for at least 8 minutes, because once you hit the 8-minute mark, your body kind of takes over and it gets easier. So just know if you're ever trying breathwork and you want to like give up, just like try to get to the 8th minute, and after that it'll get easier. That's a little hack.
Is there any sort of like ideal sort of space, or how, like let's say I was like, right, tonight I'm going to do breath work, what would the recommendation be on sort of like where to do it, how to do it, lighting, background noise, anything like that? Is there anything like which is the best sort of way to do it?
Yes and no. I mean, it's very flexible. You can do it wherever. Obviously, be safe. Like, you don't want to be like in water or driving when you're doing it. Like, if you're driving, like if you're driving, obviously you can like take a deep breath, but you don't want to like be driving and trying to like get into it while you're driving.
Sure.
I'd say you can absolutely sit up. Like sometimes I'll do breath work and I'll just like sit up and like hip circle, or I'll do it with my eyes open. Like there's not really rules, but for the deeper, like if you're wanting just like a really deep transformational experience, you want to be laying somewhere that's comfortable. So you can be on your bed, on a yoga mat, you can be outside even. Somewhere that's comfortable. Try to not have a pillow under your neck, because having a pillow can kind of like cause like what's the word? It's just like you want to be flat so that your throat's open, so that you can like, it's all like flowing through.
Yeah, of course.
Eyes closed is the best. You can have an eye mask to keep it dark. And yeah, just be somewhere that's safe. Be somewhere that you can express, because you'd be surprised at what comes up. Even if you just want to like make noise or like laugh, even if it starts to get really pleasurable, like you don't want to feel like you're holding back.
Yeah.
So just be, in like a safe space. Zen is always the vibe, but like it can be bright. There's really not that many rules with it. You just want to be safe, and you want to make sure that you're valuing depth over speed. Because I know a lot of the people like Wim Hof, they do show like a very intense type of vibe. But if you're just doing it like so fast and not mindfully enough, you're gonna just like overbreathe and like hyperventilate, and that's not really what we want.
No, sure, yeah.
You want to stay intentional with it.
Well, I was going to ask if it would be beneficial to do it in the ice bath, but you said no water, so probably not a good idea then.
No. I mean, because people do breathwork in an ice bath, but they're doing it to like recalibrate.
Yeah.
They're not doing it for the reasons you might want to.
Oh, dude, when I jump in that ice bath, I'm like... fucking dying, man. It's horrible.
Yeah.
So I kind of like it. Like, all jokes aside, this is going to sound super rude. I don't mean it to sound rude.
No, go for it.
I'm very like, so I don't know, maybe just not like sheltered, but like I'm very like, you know me, like I'm loud, I'm open, like I'll say it how it is. But at the same
Yeah.
time, I feel like the only way to put this, how the fuck do you take it seriously? Because I swear to God, I've tried to meditate before and I like sit there and I'm like, I feel like an absolute fucking doofus right now. Like I can't take it seriously. And then I just start laughing because I can't take it seriously. Like if Josh and I were to get off this call and go downstairs and lay flat on the bed, we'd just start fucking giggling. Like we would not be,
Yeah.
I couldn't take it serious. How do you get out of that like mindset? Because you feel like you don't want to, like I would feel like if it was working for me and not for him, I'd feel fucking embarrassed, or like vice versa. Like I'd get secondhand embarrassment if it worked for him and he was like, ugh, and I was like, fuck.
Can I try answer? Teacher, pick me. I would say, correct me if I'm wrong. The first time, just do it on your own, right? And then
Yeah. You could always try doing it on your own. Two things come up. So one is that giggling, and I do this too, because like obviously it's fun to laugh, but sometimes giggling and making things funny is a protection mechanism against like going deep and being vulnerable.
Absolutely.
But I absolutely know what you mean by like, yeah, sometimes it's just like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, you know, like this is weird. Another thing I would say is like you can allow the laughing. Like breathwork doesn't necessarily have to be super serious, and laughing can come up. Because in that same session, the like really big one I had, there was a point where I'm pretty sure after the whole energy orgasm experience, I was laughing. I was laughing my ass off for like a solid like 2 minutes straight, I'd say. It was like vibrating out of me. Like I was laughing and it was like vibrating as it like came up and out. Because yeah, it just felt good, and that's just like what was there. Because sometimes we even suppress laughter, you know?
Yeah.
Like
it's
just
like when
some
you're being
people
told off by the teacher, and you're like,
totally. So yeah, I would say definitely doing it by yourself is good. You could always just tap into the like why, like genuinely, why does this feel so weird? Like why is it so hard for me to like lay down and breathe? Like why does that feel so bizarre?
Awkward. Yeah.
it should be the most normal thing on the planet, right?
Yeah.
You're used to being straight and breathing like 24/7.
Yeah.
So how can you feel
like,
wrong?
especially for me, like I find that at night, like going back to what you were saying earlier, like, you know, people get like stressed and like they let all these things affect them. Like I could be dead ass tired. I cannot fall asleep before midnight. Like ever. I fell asleep last week at 7:00 at night, and I didn't wake up till 9:00 the next morning. And when I woke up, I felt even more tired. But since then, I felt like fucking shit. Like absolute shit. And then like I get these like blocks where I'm like, oh, I want so badly to edit these photos, but I cannot do it. I can't sit down. I can't fucking focus. I can't think about anything. Like obviously I've got Gray at home all day, every day. So like I'm overstimulated with that. And like today he was horrible. So it's like in my head, I'm like, the last thing I want to do after that is sit down and have to fucking work. Like, like at night. Do you know what I mean? So in my head, I'm like, how are you supposed to like balance these things with that? Is that something that things like this would help?
I would say yes. You definitely have to dedicate, and yes, you can see it as work, but you can also see it as like a mini goal that you're just going to like do for yourself. And even if it doesn't give you everything that you wanted immediately, you can know that you fucking tried, you know, because it's like, there's things that we say we want to do, we don't stick to them, and we wonder why they're not working. And it's like,
Josh.
yeah, because I was doing that. It's everyone. It's okay. We fucking all do it. But being in groups, because there's like groups who offer help with that, and they'll have like your little buddies. But you really just do have to like dedicate it and sit and be with like the weird and the awkward and like the times you don't fucking feel like doing it.
Yeah.
Because yeah, it can feel weird. Like for some people, even just like having an audible exhale feels weird. Like some people don't even just like being like, they're like, oh my God, that's so weird. Like that sounds weird. Oh my God. Like some people cringe at that.
Yeah.
You know?
I would giggle though. I genuinely I nearly giggled. Like that's the thing. I nearly giggled because it's not. It's not taught to be normal. Does it?
Yeah.
You know? People don't like walk around and you don't hear about it. You don't talk about it. So when like something like that happens, you're like,
Yeah.
But
You're like, what
at the
is
same
that?
time, it's like, dude, like, it's fucking. I wish people would just talk more. This is the shit they should teach in schools. If you
Yeah.
ask me,
Totally.
fuck off Pythagoras theorem. Who needs that shit? I don't.
Pythagorean. You clearly don't know what that is.
Yeah. Nah, it's Pythagoras, bruv.
No, it's not.
That's hilarious.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it's Pythagorean.
We were taught Pythagoras theorem.
You guys are fucked up over here.
I'm googling it right now. Hold tight. I need to know this now. This
I
is
don't know
live and
this.
direct.
I'm like, both of you are right in my world because I don't know the real one. They're both correct.
Yes, Pythagorean, the Orium concept and trigonometry, but it's Pythagoras theorem is also another name for it. So
weird.
F you. All right, so don't come at me like that. That's rude. I'm not stupid, and I'd rather learn breathwork anyway. So shut up. Well, I genuinely think after even that little bit of conversation, I'm going to try it. 100%.
Yeah, because the thing is, I always think like it's hard for me. I see these things on TikTok all the time. I'm like, is it just fucking bullshit? Like kind of like a pyramid scheme type thing, you know? But it's like, I know you. So it's different talking to somebody like that you know. Did you find that when you started doing this like work wise that more of like it was more like your friends and people that you knew because they felt like comfortable with you for at first rather than just like random people?
Say that again. Comfortable with me. What do you mean by that?
Like were like your main clients when you first started, like people that were your friends because they like felt comfortable with you maybe like and safe enough to believe it and do it with you?
I would say yes. They've probably, because I feel like everyone is at different levels with like shit they'll hear about and how open they are to it.
Yeah.
So a lot of them, I feel like it's just like in the whole like spiritual world and community, this shit is so like normal to some people. And so like whenever they hear about something, they're more likely to like try it and like almost trick themselves into believing it works. And so it works, you know? Not like they're tricking themselves. It's just when we have certain things that like we've done or tried or certain people that we like know and resonate with, it's like if they're saying something naturally, we're going to be like, oh, and like have a fascination toward it and like a more positive, like a draw attraction to it, if that makes sense.
I think a lot of people now are way more open to anything this side of things as well, like over the past few years, like so many more people are open to like, even when it comes to like spirituality and like even lately I haven't even had this conversation with you Lena, but like even when I'm like thinking about things now, it's like I was always very much like an atheist. I didn't believe in anything. I was like, right, cool, when I die I'm going into the ground, whatever, that's it. Like that's how I always thought, or I thought I was in a simulation. I was one or the other, not too sure. But now the more I talk to people, the more I hear about things, I'm like, right, I'm not a Christian. I don't believe in God. I don't believe in any Buddha stuff, anything like that. But I'm starting to really think there is just one deity. Not that we've got to worship or anything like that, but there is just something. And more, I'm just slowly but surely just starting to think. And I think that's happening for a lot of people, like a spiritual awakening as such. You know, would you agree? Like, because you're more in that sort of world, for lack of a better terms. Would you say you're like seeing more and more people coming into it?
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, the way I see it is that people are getting more and more attuned to like energy and subtle energy. Like the past like flashier ways that we've always been used to, people just like see through it and like they're like, I'm bored. Like I want something that's like real and different and raw and authentic. And yeah, like people have always been attuned to energy. Like it's not hard to notice when you walk in a room if like the group doesn't like you. Like it doesn't take a rocket scientist. You don't need a fucking psychic to like figure that out. Like people can read and sense. And we've always been able to, but it just feels like there's this extra like
that's like on a very superficial level, like walking into a room and knowing people don't like you.
Why does that happen every time I walk into a room? I'm joking.
Do you think that even some of it has to do, like the way that more people are coming into it? Do you find that it's more people like around like our age, like in their like late 20s, early 30s type of thing? Because we're kind of all like, we've all come from obviously the same kind of years, you know, and then we were like in our early to mid 20s, like in COVID, like right when we could have been starting our lives, everything got fucking put on hold. And now,
Yeah.
obviously, it's obviously a little bit different in America than it is here, but it is very like political there, and we're not going to talk about politics. But do you even find that it's just a sense of like people are looking for something else to believe in, because literally the whole like it feels like their world is like fucking crashing in on them, like cost of living, like political shit, like all those kinds of things.
We've essentially lost like 3, 4, 5 years of life. And
exactly.
Yeah.
I think social media as well, like
Yeah.
people like yourself, Alyssa, who are putting it out there. You know, people are seeing this. Like, I would never have known about this unless Lena told me about your Instagram, and then I followed, and I was like, "What the? This is fucking cool!" Like,
Yeah.
But social media, obviously, your YouTube, your TikTok, your Instagram, all of these things you can promote. Like, not promote, but it's more visible. Everyone can see it, even if you're just scrolling through and you're like, "Why is some woman shaking on the floor?" And then you watch it and you go, "Oh shit, it's this," you know. And then
it's a bit more attainable now.
100%.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. Another thing I was going to say too, because it's the way I see it. I mean, I know some people are more like looking for something to like believe in or rely on, or something to feel better with. But ultimately what I think it is that people are looking for is just more like genuine, like aliveness. And that's what like Kundalini energy is. It's life force. Life force is pretty much just life energy, alive, like high vibrational, alive energy. And there's so many different ways to like amplify that and tap into it. And so many people have like different words and names for it. Because people are realizing that the shit that like used to work, it's very short term, and it usually like you feel kind of like shit after type of thing. Like people want something that's actually going to feel like sustainable in a way, and like fulfilling and like deep.
And I suppose because you could do it with other people as well. You know, it's a group, something that can be done in a group, so it's a social aspect to it as well, I'd imagine.
Yeah, very, very healing. I've done a lot of wild shit in group settings, and it's very healing because you don't feel as alone. You're able to like bust through certain like blocks and things together. Yeah, it brings people together for sure.
Yeah, because you can kind of almost feel like, is it almost more like if you see somebody else like letting go a little bit, you're like, oh, they can do it, I can do it. And then like you're like,
Absolutely.
They're not embarrassed, so I'm not going to be embarrassed. Right?
Absolutely. There's this one girl who I freaking adore. Her name's Mia Magic, and she says that part of her life purpose, she calls it being a permissionary. So the way she sees it is like, the more I like show every aspect of myself with like no shame, because it is who I am, the more it allows that person who's like scared to show it, you know? Because it's like the more people are just like not giving a fuck and are embodied in their natural self, like that shit's magnetic. Even if you don't necessarily agree with it. I follow this one girl who I love, and I agree with most of the shit she says. And some of it, I'm just like, you are fucking nuts. But I have respect for how like solid you are in your experiences and like what you believe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's a level of respect.
Yeah. I even find that though, like with like what you've started doing recently, like I don't even know if it's like every week or like once a week, like you just let yourself dance and like move your body. Like when those videos come up, I'm like, that's my little reminder. And like, it's like even like like just to move my body or like just do something. Like even like for me, like I've always loved singing. It was something I really pushed like way, way, way back there. But now it's like sometimes like during the day, I just feel like I need to do it. And it's just kind of like a little subconscious thing that's just like, just fucking let go for like 5 seconds. Like, but even like, even things like that, like I'm so uncomfortable with it. Like Josh has never even really heard me sing. Like this guy watched a 7-pound baby come out of me, watched me get cut open, but he's never heard me sing. Yeah. How the fuck how does that figure? Do you know what I mean? But I think
I'm just more worried that the sound of you giving birth may be better than your singing, but you know.
Yeah, haha. But it's things like that. But it's things like that. Like we view, like I was not thinking about that in that moment because I was so caught up in like, maybe this is relevant actually. I was so caught up in the fact that I was bringing life into this world that I didn't care what I was doing in my life at that minute. And to me, I was like, oh, this is natural. This is normal. Who fucking cares? But like something as far as like singing or like doing breath work and looking like a fucking idiot, I'm like, that's too much for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
just weird.
But you can have your full pussy exposed and be like screaming out in pain.
Yeah.
You know?
Honestly, the amount of nurses I went through in that 30 hours of labor, I was just like, whatever. Everybody's fucking seen it now. Like, I've got no dignity left. I don't care. Like, whatever. Yeah, come in, take a look. Like, you want to bring your uncle in? Like, fuck it. But I think, like, you definitely lose some dignity when you give birth. But it was like, was
I
that
think that's
more...
some trauma I need to get rid of. Still seeing that.
But was that... the reason that I was so comfortable with that was that almost more of like a, because obviously they tell you to breathe when you're giving birth, and that's not just for like being able to push or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like they're doing that because it's got to be something else that like relaxes you somewhere else in your body. But the reason I think maybe I didn't think too much about what I was doing in that moment was because I was like, my mind was like embodied with the idea of bringing life into the world. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, 100. Yeah, totally. Yeah,
I'm trying to make it make sense as I'm saying it.
Yeah, nothing else mattered because it's like, you're like, okay, this is what I'm doing. Like, I have to do it. Like, I don't really have another choice. Like, I don't really give a fuck. I'm gonna just let go and whatever happens, happens.
Is that kind of like the same kind of mindset you have to go into like with these things? It's like almost like not forcing yourself to do it, but like forcing yourself almost to believe it in a way, to open yourself up to the experience?
Yeah, there's definitely an aspect of this may be uncomfortable and awkward, and allow like seeing how much you can like sit in that awkward and uncomfortable. And usually just by like sitting in it and experiencing, you're like, wait, this literally isn't that bad. I'm literally just laying down to breathe. Like, what the fuck? Why was that such a big deal?
I think I'm almost like scared to try it though.
I've always wanted to do like
I've always wanted to do like hypnotherapy and like release some of that old shit, and like even like certain things like that just fucking scares me. So I'm like, what if it brings up something that I don't want it to bring up? And like then that's like brought back to the forefront of my mind, and then I'm in that mindset again, and then I'm like, it's almost like having a fucking bad trip, right? Like, and then you like come and you're like, holy fucking shit, and that shit is like there like front and center now, whereas like I've pushed it so far back I don't really think about it every day. But is that something that you find a lot of people maybe say that they're like afraid of, is like being stuck in that mindset?
I could see that. Yeah. A lot of them mainly just they have like their limits of shit that they like don't want to go back into. Yeah. And that's where the trauma-informed aspect comes in, because it's like, obviously, if you're not ready, we're not going to push you, because if you're not ready and we like try to get it out, like you're just going to be re-traumatized, and that serves no one. So yeah, it all comes down to the willingness and trust that if it's coming up, it's for a reason, and just how deeply you're willing to go into it. Because the things that come up can be very intense, or they can be like random and just like, oh, like I don't want to think about it. But it's like, at what point is just like pushing it away and acting like it doesn't exist? Like, when are you sick enough of that?
Yeah, it could be more damaging, I assume. Like, that's more damaging to you the more you hold something down. Yeah. You know? So
and sometimes even just seeing things, like writing it down. Like I've had times where I'm like in a situation with my boyfriend and I write down some fucked up shit on the paper, and I'm just like, I cannot believe I'm writing this. But there's something about having it like written down and being your own witness to it, and being like, wow, this is like really hard, and like I see you, and there's this element of like feeling heard. So even though I didn't tell him, it's like I was able to like hear and see it myself. And even in that, there's like an element of healing. And then from there you get further clarity, because it's like, okay, I really don't want to tell him like all this like shit that I wrote that's really intense. At the root of it is something that's much deeper. Like, I don't feel seen. Yeah. It's not that like, I hate you, you always do this, blah, 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 blah. It's like, I don't feel seen and it hurts. Yeah. Stuff like that. I hope that makes sense.
No, 100% that makes sense. I think...
Does it?
Come on, man. I'm a pleasure. I'm delightful. I actually am.
Winding you up.
I just get dug out if Lena gets woken up before 7 a.m. and then I'm in trouble. Yeah. That's it. Honestly. If she gets up before 7 a.m., it's trouble time for me.
It's a bad day.
That's funny. Yeah. I've never been an early bird. I've been working on it, but it's hard.
Yeah.
I see. I am 6 a.m. I'm out. I'm up. Done.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I don't have
Go
a
to bed at
choice.
11. Wake up at 6. I'm good to go. I can go to bed at 1 a.m. and still wake up at 6. Good to go. Like, it's like crazy. Like last week, was it last weekend, babe? But we stayed up watching Yellowstone like for so many hours.
Oh
till,
yeah,
like, stupid
yeah,
o'clock
that
in the
was
morning.
a bad idea. It was the
And the
night.
next
It was
day-
like I'd worked a wedding that day as well, and I was like,
Dang.
Dude,
holy shit.
If Lena doesn't get enough sleep as she wakes up, it's literally her face looks like a different person for the first 30 minutes. She's like all like gone, and I'm like, who the hell is this person?
Yeah,
And then,
I'm like a
20 minutes
fucking
later, I'm like,
gremlin, man.
she's back.
No,
So
I
it's-
believe in that. I feel like it's real. Like, I feel like if I have to wake up super early and do my makeup, like, I will not look like the person who I am for the day still does not look the same.
Yes,
I don't know how to describe it, but
you
I'm
almost
just
like
like,
it's
yeah.
just like I call it just like a bad face day. Don't know what it is, but
like-
if I wake up and I know I've got like a full on day at a wedding and I'm stressed about it and I'm trying to do my fucking eyeliner and it's not going on, I'm like, you know what? Fuck this shit. Like, I'm so sick of it. I look like crap today. And then every time I look at myself in the mirror, I could do my makeup exactly how I used to do it years ago and it just doesn't look like me. And it fucking
Yeah.
pisses me off.
It's wild.
Honestly.
It's a thing.
I'm gonna have to say something, everybody.
Go on then.
And I genuinely, basically, we're constrained for time on this website.
Oh, okay.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see if Alyssa, do you want to come in and do separate episodes, one like we've done for Breathwork, then do one for Reiki, and then one for Kundalini? Would that be cool?
Sure. Yeah, that'll work.
Because what I don't want to do is take away from it. Like,
Yeah.
we've literally just been here nearly an hour talking about breathwork. I've loved every minute, but what I don't want to do is be like, cool, we've got half an hour, let's talk about this and this, and like rush it through, because I
Yeah.
want to hear like all about it. Does that make sense?
No, that's great. Yeah, that's the best way to go. Because, yeah, you don't
Uh,
want to be like leaving shit out.
Yeah, and like, I just want to like go deep into it. Like, who knew you could talk for an hour on breathwork? Like, who knew?
Right? Yeah.
Like,
Without even
like,
trying.
like it's crazy, and this is what happens. But what I don't, like I said, I don't want to rush anything or go through anything. So let's leave this one as breathwork, and then we'll book in again for Kundalini and Reiki. Right? Is
Yeah,
that right?
totally.
Is that right? Boom.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Uh-huh.
But that doesn't mean we have to stop now. We've got a couple more minutes left. Is there anything you want to ask, Lena?
Do you find any like misconceptions with it? With like breath
With
work?
breathwork?
Yeah.
Misconceptions. That's a good question.
Like, have you ever had somebody, like a client or whatever, just like come in and just think they were going to do like one session and like the whole fucking world was going to be fixed and they're going to wake up to a fucking $1 million in their bank account the next day and like shit like that?
I feel like deep down, yeah, there's probably people like that. But I feel like when I make posts and talk about it, I make it very clear of what can happen, and I don't guarantee anything will happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
the
like
best
I'm
way
not
to
over.
be, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not over here like promising this crazy shit. And I mean, the thing about breathwork is it absolutely can happen in one session where you have like this wildly expansive experience. Like I've had that many times, but for everyone, that's not going to be the case. I use it kind of just like the gym. Like you can't go to the gym once and expect to have like a freaking perfect body. Like you gotta do it consistently before you make like an actual, like, is this working for me or not?
Yeah.
You know?
So you see like the results for it. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And for me, in my journey with breathwork, it didn't start with a bunch of like super long sessions. I did it once. So my first experience ever with breathwork, because I'd heard of it before and I had like no interest. I was like, okay, like I don't really care. Like it didn't sound like anything. I was like, whatever. And then I remember that day I was having a really depressed day. I just felt like shit. And I remember saying out loud, I was like, anything to get me out of this, like, please. Like, I don't know what to do, but I need something. Like, I was stuck and just like numb. And I'm pretty sure I was actually sitting like right here, like facing that. So that's funny. There's this girl on Instagram, a different one who I absolutely love. And it was like a 5-minute like breathwork embodiment practice, she called it. And so like she was leading it, I was doing it. And like by the end, I was just like this puddle of tears, but in like the best way. It like felt like whatever bogged down, just like depression was like rinsed off of me. My body was like buzzing, and I just felt like this wildly like aliveness, and like the fog, the black, like I love black, but whatever like cloud was lingering over me was like gone. And so just from that initial experience, I was like, okay, this is something that I want to do like every fucking day. Like no one has to tell me to, I just want to. And I've stuck with that for probably, I mean, sometimes I'll skip it, but for the most part, I'm doing it every day, like 7 to 10 minutes for the past, like 3, 4, 5 years.
Oh, wow.
Have you found
That's
that it's
experience.
have you found that it's changed your life, like in any other aspects?
Yeah, so it's definitely changed my life in the aspect of like expression, because there's a lot of different ways you can do breath work. And I feel like breath work has really been one that's like unblocked my throat, like the throat chakra. So if your throat's blocked, usually you'll have a hard time speaking up or expressing yourself, or like people will always be like, oh, like I can't hear you speak up. That was me like a lot of my life. People like I just talked so quiet and like no one could ever like understand like what I was saying. I had a client like a couple months ago tell me to like lower my voice because I was talking too loud, and I was like, holy shit, like someone can hear me. I was like, I am doing so well. It was like the biggest compliment. I was like, I never get this. It was always that. But like, where am I going with that? Yeah, the breath, just the act of like breathing and like all the noises and expressions that you can do and have and make with it have definitely unlocked something. And in that first one I did, so the way she does it is you do a breath pattern, you hold, and at the end you just like let it go and release. So you like shake and make noise. You're just like, and you just do it. And with that, you'll laugh because it's like, it's goofy and it looks funny, but it's like, it feels so good because you're literally like, you're shaking it. You're just letting whatever the hell wants to like come out. And it's like, you can't help but just feel so good after. The reason you shake, humans should be shaking more. So like when an animal escapes a trauma, you know how they'll like shake after, like dogs will shake. That's literally them like resetting and recalibrating their nervous system. So there was a point, I don't do it as often as I should, but there was a point back when I was like super in that beginning stage where I'd be at work, something would piss me off, I'd go to the bathroom and I'd literally just like shake and be like and just like do it. And it felt so good.
Somebody walked in, they think they've walked into like The Exorcist or something, but other than that, you're okay.
Yeah. I mean, I would kind of not make the voice as loud, but I definitely just like shake and like, ugh. Because we don't. It's like humans are so used to just being so stiff and like proper and like don't sound weird, don't act weird, just like be super normal, like don't be, you know? And it's like that gets old after a while.
As far as like moving, like moving and stuff, like even like how you started doing like, what is it, like every week you like get on your mat and like you just move, like just dance. Is that why like dancing feels so good? Like, I'm sorry, like girls do not go out for dudes. Am I wrong?
Yeah. No.
We go out to dance, and that's like our like release. Like, it's not about like, when I go out, like, it's not about like drinking and getting super fucking drunk. Like, mind you, one drink and I'm fucking gone. But it's like, it just feels so good to just dance. But like, definitely a lot of people have to have the drinks to like, you know, it's like that little bit of liquid courage because you're like, oh, everybody's fucking watching me. But is that kind of like the same thing? Like how it just like feels like so good just to do that. Just like let go.
Yeah. Well, part of it is because women especially get trauma stored in the hips. So like, that's why so many people suggest like hip openers and stuff. So like sexual trauma, sexual trauma especially, and most trauma, like women hold it in the hips and in the womb. So I had a client recently who had an insane sexual trauma, but by like a medical professional, I don't even know if I should share this. It should be fine because it's like, I'm not even saying, I'm not saying who it is. No, she had, she was getting her tonsils removed. She got under the anesthesia. The last thing she heard was the doctor say, "Oh, look, she's so small." And then after her surgery appointment, she had bruises all over her legs and just this feeling that something wasn't right. And then she ended up getting an STD because she was assaulted by her fucking surgeon.
Dude, this happens so much more often now. I've heard so many fucking stories about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What the fuck?
I had to do an insane, because we did Reiki, and I had to do an insane energy clearing just on myself after, because I was like
shit's
mad.
On me now. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't on me, but like, how do you not? You know, how do you not like?
Yeah. It makes you want to kill someone, right? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Mm-hmm. So her personally, what she was experiencing was ever since that incident, she would notice like her butthole and like her vagina, she would just clench. Just like at the random times or at stress, like her body was like, nothing is fucking getting in me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a protection mechanism. And so like in that Reiki session, why not? We'll just bring it up. In that Reiki session, we were doing Reiki, we were talking about it. And then we actually did angelic assistance. So I asked Archangel Michael, I was like, please come in and like cut any cords from like any of these people who have done that shit to her.
Mm-hmm.
And the second I did that, she's like, oh my God. She's like, I feel like something draining like down my hips. And she's like, now it's at my knees. And she's like, now it's at my feet. And she could like feel it like drain out.
Wow.
So that experience had left an energetic imprint physically in the body that was manifesting as physical tightness. So going back, that was a deep one, but going back to why dancing can feel so good is dancing and like shaking your ass is activating the root and sacral chakra, which is your safety and stability and the sexual energy centers. And so just like energy can be released through shaking your whole body, it's the same with dancing. So like when women dance and like move their hips and ass and you get in that really like delicious, like, like feeling of it, it's literally shaking off and like moving stagnant energy.
Yeah.
So it's like there's a very euphoric piece that comes with it, because in a way it's healing, because it's like you're loosening your body. You're not like tight and tense and like, just like still. It's like you're actually allowing for like whatever wants to come through to come through.
Yeah.
Wow. So wow. With the, so you're talking about like the energy areas, are they the same for like male and female as well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So male and female both have them. I would say obviously men can have sexual trauma, men can have stuff stored in the hips, but just the way that like wombs operate with having like painful periods in the month that can also be from trauma and stuff, I'd say women hold a lot more in the hips.
Sure.
I would say men probably hold more in the root, which is because there's the responsibility of like, I have to provide, I have to protect, I have to do all these things.
Yeah.
And if you feel like you're not doing that good enough, or you don't feel safe enough, or you don't feel financially secure enough, like that's gonna
almost like weight on your shoulders, right?
That is a fucking full circle moment right there. How did I start off this podcast?
Totally. Mm-hmm.
That is literally a full circle moment. That's crazy. It's like it was meant to be.
I have one more question when you're done, Josh.
Sorry, yeah. All right, cool.
No. I didn't want to cut you off. No, ask cool. Your question.
I can't remember where I was going now because I was like bewildered.
How does it, where do you stand with like manifestation and stuff like that? I know that's something like completely different, but that's almost like, that's more of your mind than anything. But like, is that kind of like, do people like correspond these two things together quite often?
Like manifestation with the practices?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, the practices and the energy clearing and all that is tapping you toward your truer self and your highest potential and like the highest expression of you. So yeah, I would say yeah.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people have a lot to say about manifestation, and I believe in most of it, but I also don't believe that your vibe has to be completely like high and perfect to like attract exactly what it is you want, and vice versa.
That's like the whole law of attraction shit, right?
Yeah. But like,
it's sorry.
Hard because like, just
I
because
believe in a lot of it.
Sorry, go.
No. Go.
Just because I put like I pinned something on Pinterest. This girl was like, pin your things on Pinterest, make a board, make this. I'm like, okay, if I pin a fucking Yellowstone ranch with 500 fucking horses and $6 million in my bank account, that's not just gonna fucking come true because I put it in a fucking Pinterest board. So like that seems like
you put in though, babe.
Yeah, no, but and that's the thing that I'm trying to get at though. Like, do people kind of like use this as a way to find their true self to make sure that they can maybe attain the things that they want?
I feel like if they don't subconsciously, then they kind of do at some level. I'll just use this one example. Yeah, whatever. We'll just trust it. So I had this one girl who did an online Kundalini activation with me. She like heard of it. She's like, I don't know. It's just like interesting to me. She did it. She loved it. And now she's like, she took the activation training and she's like totally like aligned into like her soul's work. So just by following that, it's really beautiful. I'm just like, oh my God, how special. I was like her entryway and now she's like thriving. She like hosted a retreat and is like doing all these really crazy things just because like she experienced the one activation. I'm sure other things too, like it's not 100% like, oh my God, it was me, because it wasn't. But yeah, it's like I was a piece in that for her. And even like, I don't know why, but this is coming up. So even like with the example you used, with, yeah, like a ranch and like thousands of animals and shit. One thing I'm thinking of is even if you're not like actively working toward that, you might start to notice that like things in your reality, if it's something you really want and are focused on, like little things might remind you of it. It might not match it exactly, but somewhere you might start to see or like want to like pull in things that kind of mirror that. Because I've looked at like, I've made the vision boards and stuff. I don't get super into them, but like looking back at some of them, I'm just like, whoa, like this actually did happen.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
It's just like on a different sort of level. It's not exactly what you pictured. But it's just,
it's an expression of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have one question, and
Yes.
it's just an observation. Please don't. I'm just like, I need to ask this question. You're very emotive. Is that part of just because of everything that you do? Like you're constantly moving. It's cool. I just like I don't want to be like, oh, you're always moving. I'm not saying that like at all. I was just wondering if that's part of like everything that you spoke of, all the practices that you do and whatnot.
I would say yes. I've been told, because like I'm constantly like when I think, I'll like circle my hips if I'm sitting down. I'll like close my eyes to think. Yeah, I'm very, very like moving and all that. I think part of that is just, it definitely always wasn't there because I was more restricted and constricted. Yeah, I would say everything about who I am now is because of like the people who I've been surrounded by, who have like showed me a different way, and from just like the personal inner work I've done, because it's like become a piece of me, if that makes sense.
100%.
Do you find that it's almost like subconscious now? Like you don't even think about doing it. It's just like who you are now as a person.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, and that's why I say that the practices will tap you into your authentic self. And part of the reason I post like my little poll videos and shit, I'll get messages. Like I had this one girl who's just like, I've been following your video, like I watch your videos, and I don't know, like when I see you doing that, it sparks something in me that like wants to do the same. Like, so thank you for posting it, because like it's inspiring me to like do that.
Yeah.
So So it's like, I hope that some of the ways that I like act or express do inspire people, however that may look. Yeah.
Yeah.
What would, closing question I would say is obviously because you everything you've preached, you practice, right? Everything we've spoken about, you do. So what would be just one bit of advice for someone? We'll just keep it breathwork related. One bit of advice to someone if they're looking to either start breathwork or they're doing it and they're not getting what they like expected, for lack of a better term. What would like your one piece of advice be? There we go.
So, okay, so you're saying if someone tries breathwork once and it's not everything that they ever wanted, what would my advice be? Ooh. I mean, the obvious, just like stick with it would come through. So yeah, I'd say stick with it for like a month. If it's really not sticking, it might not just be for you. Not everyone's going to resonate with breathwork. Not everyone's going to resonate with with Reiki or Kundalini activation. Like some things just aren't it for people.
It's
like
not one shoe fits all.
Yeah, astrology wasn't like my thing. Like I'll talk about, like I can kind of vibe with some of the things about astrology, but if you try to give me a course on like astrology and like shifting my life best to like astrology, I'm going to be like bored and have like no interest in it.
Yeah.
So
100%.
most people, a lot of people who do breath work do end up liking it. Like it's just how it is. But if you don't, that's fine. Like try either try it again and stick with it for a month and be really like honest and dedicate to it and like be with the discomfort, be with the, oh, this didn't work. Just like treat it like the gym for like a month and see what shifts. Or it just might not be for you. Like I'm not claiming that breathwork, even Reiki or Kundalini activation is for everyone, because you can have all the facts, you can have all the, like they could have a wildly expansive experience, but since they like don't even believe in it or like don't want to like see what's in front of them, nothing you can do is going to change that. You know, like everyone's on their own journey with things that they're at. I don't know where I was going with that. Yeah, just like trust it, try, stick with it. If it doesn't resonate, then just like see what speaks to you next is what I would say. Yeah,
Perfect.
but mainly like you got to try. You got to, and have a good facilitator too. That's another thing. If you're just following along to a video on YouTube, that's great. Like that's what I did. And that was like enough for me. But sometimes having like a facilitator and a space where you can like be super comfortable, not have to like worry about people hearing you and you're like guided through and there's like someone like doing the experience for you, that can usually be very helpful because it can be easy to be like, oh, am I even doing this right? Yeah, just like getting your head being like, oh, well, I'm over it, I'm gonna just stop. Like you're not gonna do that in like a paid session with someone, you know?
Yeah, it's moving from like the light version of an app to a premium version. It's going from light to paid. Like let's just go and get the whole thing, get the whole process. Cool.
Yeah.
Lena, anything else or?
I just want her to talk about like just share like what she does. Obviously you do it in person and online, so people that are, you're still in San Diego, right? Yeah, so people that are in San Diego, if you're listening, if you're watching, you have some in-person events coming up?
I will in the next week, not as much for breathwork. I do need to put more breathwork events on the calendar. It's mainly the other stuff. But yeah, I do online and in person. They're about an hour 15 minutes ish. Yeah, just breathwork journeys. So you come in depending on what your intention is. We always go over your intention first, and then the experience is kind of catered to that, depending on if you want to like release something or call something in, or you just want to try it. One thing I do differently is I do add energy work into my breathwork sessions. So I'm a little energy work hoe. It just like is weaved into everything. Like even like circling when I talk, I've been told that's a way of like channeling. So it's a way of getting like super present and like, it's like I'm out of my head and words are just flowing, if that makes sense. So while people are doing breath work, I'm usually like sending and like doing energy work. So that adds a layer to it. That's why it's extra magical and profound. So yeah, in person and online. Online is just as good as in person. Energy works across space and time.
And that's kind of open for like anybody anywhere in the world. So even people here in the UK, if they wanted to do that, go for it. Do you do any like breathwork and energy healing things like online? Like do you still like do a monthly one, or did I dream that?
No, that's the thing. I do a free one monthly. I did move the next one to April. It's in my profile, Alyssa.Demangos on Instagram, or you can follow Breath Becomes You. That's my more like business page. So yeah, I do a monthly online offering, which is great for people who want to like try it, but might not want to like dedicate to like a full session. I mean, it's still a full session, but it's just a really beautiful opportunity to try it for free. Obviously, in person is my favorite, but if you're in the UK, you can't really do in person. So yeah.
True that. Do you do YouTube benefit? Is it just Instagram, or do you have like YouTube and things like that you want to just tell people about?
I need to do other things, but yeah, it's mainly just Instagram for now. I need to expand. I just haven't.
Cool, perfect. So just shout out your Instagram handles one more time. What's your Instagrams?
Yay.
Clear as day. Everybody check this out.
Either Breath Becomes You or my name, Alyssa.Demangos. So that's ALYSSA.DEMANGOS.
Perfect. And I was like trying to type down that email address and memorize it, and I was like, I need to keep checking the name. I don't know how to spell these.
D Mangoes.
Cool. Well, listen, thank you for coming on. It's actually been a pleasure, and I can't wait to do more. Genuinely, like, what a person. Yeah. Like, I was like, this is fucking sick, man. This is why I love doing this. It's so cool. Like, honestly. So yeah, again, if you've listened to this and you're not following us on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anything, you can just check us out. Let's get chatting without a G. I don't know why. I just did it that way. So let's get chatting pod. Check us out. Follow us, like, subscribe, all the content. Check it out. And yeah, we'll speak to you all soon. Peace out. Thanks for listening.